UK drivers shocked. New blue badge parking crackdown. 1,000 fine rule stuns millions. UK drivers, brace yourselves. A massive parking rule shakeup has just dropped, and blue badge holders are at the center of it. What was once a lifeline for disabled motorists has now become a legal minefield, with councils cracking down harder than ever. One small mistake, one misunderstood sign, and you could be staring at a $1,000 fine. This isn't just another traffic update, it's a wake-up call every driver in Britain needs to hear before parking their car again. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an important update. On this channel, you'll get all the latest UK news updates, government benefit changes, blue badge alerts, driver's law updates, HMRC and tax news, pension and senior benefits, plus daily cost of living updates that truly matter to you. Stay informed, stay protected, and join our growing community today. Attention UK drivers, this is a serious alert, and if you or someone you know holds a blue badge, you need to hear this right now. The UK government and local councils have started a fresh crackdown on blue badge misuse, and the penalties are no joke. We're talking fines that can reach $1,000, badge confiscation, and even potential criminal charges for serious violations. For years, the blue badge scheme has helped millions of people with disabilities and limited mobility gain better access to parking, allowing them to park closer to where they need to be. But lately, growing misuse and fraudulent use of these badges have forced authorities to tighten enforcement, bringing in new warnings and stricter checks. And if you're not careful, you could accidentally fall foul of these new parking rules, even without realizing it. Now let's talk about why this story is causing such a stir across the UK. The blue badge scheme was designed as a lifeline, something that gives genuine users independence and dignity. But over the years, councils have reported a shocking rise in people abusing the system. From family members borrowing badges for convenience, to people using badges belonging to deceased relatives, and even fake badges being sold online, the system has been stretched and exploited. In response, councils and enforcement officers are now under instructions to apply the rules much more strictly. That means more inspections, more fines, and fewer warnings. Where before, you might have received a polite reminder, now you could face a hefty penalty and a court summons. So, where does this $1,000 fine come from? It's not new, but it's being enforced more consistently than ever. Under the blue badge scheme regulations, if a badge is misused, forged, or used by someone not entitled to it, it becomes a criminal offense, and the courts can impose a fine of up to $1,000. That's not a parking ticket you can just ignore or appeal casually. That's a serious legal matter. In other words, if your badge is used when you're not there, if it's expired or canceled, or even if it's displayed incorrectly, you could be putting yourself at risk. The warning signs are everywhere now. Local councils are even running awareness campaigns reminding badge holders that ignorance of the rules won't be an excuse anymore. Let's dig into what's actually changing and what's catching people out. One of the most common issues is unauthorized use of someone else's badge. It happens all the time. Maybe a friend borrows it to park closer for a quick errand, or a family member uses it when dropping someone off. But under the new enforcement drive, that's illegal, plain and simple. The badge can only be used if the registered holder is present, either as the driver or a passenger. So if your badge is sitting in someone else's car while you're at home, that's a clear violation. And if an enforcement officer catches it, they have every right to issue a penalty and even confiscate the badge on the spot. Another big mistake is using a badge that's expired, canceled, or belongs to someone who has passed away. Councils now have access to more integrated databases that flag expired or voided badges instantly. That means if you display one without realizing it's invalid, you can still be fined. Even if your intentions are innocent, the law doesn't differentiate between a mistake and deliberate misuse. You are expected to check your badge's validity regularly and return it immediately when it's no longer valid. The message from councils is crystal clear. It's your responsibility to keep it up to date. But here's where things get even trickier. Many drivers assume that having a blue badge means you can park anywhere at any time. That's one of the biggest misconceptions leading to fines. The badge does give some concessions, but it doesn't override all parking restrictions. For example, you can park on yellow lines for up to 3 hours, but not if there are signs stating no loading or no waiting. You can park in disabled bays, but not in bus stops, taxi ranks, or areas that block traffic or create a safety hazard. Parking too close to junctions, pedestrian crossings, or driveways can still get you fined, even with a valid badge. In short, The badge is a privilege, not a free pass. In many towns and cities, enforcement officers have started doing random checks. They can ask to inspect the badge, and they have authority to verify whether the badge holder is present. If they find the badge being used by someone else, they can issue an on-the-spot fine and seize the badge. There have already been cases where drivers refused inspection, and that, by itself, led to a fine exceeding $1,000. In one reported case from Nottingham, a driver using a deceased relative's badge was caught during a routine patrol, taken to court, and fined $124. Stories like this are becoming more common, and they show how serious this crackdown really is. What's new is not just the rules, but the attitude of enforcement. Councils that used to focus mainly on parking tickets are now actively prosecuting blue badge misuse cases. In fact, data from recent years shows that a handful of councils, including places like Birmingham, Lambeth, and Hammersmith and Fulham, were responsible for nearly half of all prosecutions across England. That tells you this isn't just about local parking enforcement anymore. It's a nationwide effort to protect the integrity of the scheme, ensuring that genuine badge holders don't lose out because of abuse by others. Let's take a step back and look at what's actually legal and what's still allowed, because this part is just as important. If you're a blue badge holder, you still enjoy several key benefits. You can park in on-street disabled bays without paying. You can park on single or double yellow lines for up to 3 hours as long as it's safe and permitted, and in many areas, you can use pay and display bays without paying. You must, however, always display your badge correctly. That means face up with the hologram visible, showing the expiry date, and setting your parking clock to the correct time of arrival when required. It might sound like a small detail, but failing to display it properly is one of the most common reasons for fines. Officers need to be able to read your badge clearly from outside the car. If they can't, they're allowed to assume it's invalid. The blue badge also doesn't automatically apply to private car parks. Supermarkets, hospitals, and retail parks can set their own rules. Some allow free parking with a badge, but others don't. Always read the signage carefully before assuming it's okay. Many people have been caught out this way. They park in a supermarket disabled bay thinking it's covered under the national blue badge rules, only to return to a private parking charge notice on their windshield. Another point of confusion involves local variations. The scheme operates differently in England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. While the core rights are similar, local councils can impose specific restrictions or exemptions. So, if you're traveling to another region, don't assume your local council's rules apply everywhere. The safest thing to do is check the signage or the council's website for local blue badge policies before you park. Now, what if you get a parking ticket despite following the rules? Don't panic, there are steps you can take. First, never ignore a penalty charge notice. If you think the fine was issued incorrectly, you have the right to appeal. Gather evidence. Take photos of your car, your badge, the surrounding signs, and any relevant details that support your case. Sometimes tickets are issued because an officer couldn't see your badge clearly through tinted windows or reflections. Photo proof can help you prove your case. You can also mention your rights under the Equality Act 2010 if your disability made it difficult to comply with certain physical requirements, like positioning the badge or clock. But always respond within the stated deadline. Once that passes, you lose your appeal rights and the fine could increase. If your case escalates, or if you're accused of deliberate misuse, seek legal advice immediately. Remember, using a badge that doesn't belong to you or lending yours to someone else isn't just a parking offense, it's a criminal one. That's why the maximum fine sits at $1,000, not just $60 or $100 like normal tickets. The courts take these cases seriously, and councils are keen to make examples of offenders. This enforcement push isn't just about punishment, it's also about deterrence. You might wonder why this crackdown is happening now. The simple answer is to protect genuine blue badge users. Every time someone misuses a badge, it takes up valuable parking space meant for those who truly need it. Councils have reported rising frustration among legitimate users who struggle to find disabled parking because of misuse. The government's goal is to restore fairness, to ensure that those who truly rely on the scheme aren't left circling the block while others cheat the system. If this video helped you understand what's really going on with the new blue badge parking enforcement and how to avoid getting caught in the crackdown, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Here, you'll always find updates on important UK driving news, government benefits, cost of living changes, and everything that matters to UK residents, pensioners, and drivers. Stay tuned because I bring you verified updates straight from official sources every week. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next important alert, especially as more councils start rolling out their new parking enforcement policies this winter. So, remember, park smart, follow the rules, and keep your blue badge safe. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next update.